I saw Napoleon, and Ridley Scott, I feel like he's lost it. This guy used to make films with passion, okay? And Ridley has been in the business for a long time. Ridley Scott directed Alien. Ridley Scott directed Gladiator. So he's got a career that spans like half a century. And at some point, it feels like maybe he's just making films to make them now. This film is obviously made for the awards season. Now, the theatrical release, I think, was about 2.5 hours. But I think the Apple TV Plus version has like a 4-hour cut. I'm not watching that, that's for sure. I didn't really enjoy this one either, but there's no passion to be had in this movie. It feels like he just made it to make it. And like, there was a lot of stuff where like, before the movie came out, there were interviews where he was like mocking historians for saying his movie wasn't historically accurate because he's like, oh, were you there? And like, I don't have a problem with making things that aren't historically accurate, so long as the story that you're telling is compelling and interesting, right? Like Gladiator's not historically accurate at all. Like, okay, Commodus was not killed in a gladiatorial arena, but it was such a good and compelling story that you didn't care that it wasn't historically accurate, right? He was just using Rome and our general idea of, you know, gladiatorial combat in the Colosseum as like, you know, the setting for the story that he wanted to tell. And that's okay. And if that's what he wanted to do with Napoleon, it didn't seem like he was inspired enough to do it. The movie is mostly about how Napoleon is kind of this just bumbling loser who stumbles his way into being a world leader and then just as easily stumbles his way out of it. No Redux says Ridley Scott's still chasing that gladiator high. Well, I mean, if he's chasing it, he's not trying very hard. And the thing is too, like, there's obviously a lot of impressive technical work that went into this film, because like the Battle of Waterloo, as far as I can tell, was mostly shot practically. Now, I haven't looked into the behind the scenes, so there's probably some CGI that I just didn't recognize as CGI, but the way it's shot, it looks like it was mostly done as a practically shot battle. And it's like the final battle of the movie, right? Because Waterloo is Napoleon's famous defeat. And there was no passion to it. There was nothing that really grabbed me and wowed me in that. And I know Ridley Scott can do amazing big battle sequences, like the opening of Gladiator. I'm going to compare this to Gladiator a lot because this is the kind of epic movie that Ridley Scott has been known for doing in the past and has proven that he could do really well. But here, I don't know. It's technically impressive that, as far as I can tell, they shot the Battle of Waterloo mostly practically. But there's no passion in it. There's nothing in there that really grabs you and wows you with the spectacle. It feels like it's like, okay, and here is our History Channel reenactment of the Battle of Waterloo with a movie budget. It doesn't have the intensity or the energy of the opening Battle of Gladiator. The main through line of the movie is mostly about Napoleon's relationship with Josephine, his first wife. And she's kind of like, I think Vanessa Kirby, who plays Josephine, I think if there's any awards to be had for this movie, there should be probably technical awards. Like I could easily see this winning costuming, but that also feels kind of boring because I'm sure it's Hollywood. If you want to get a bunch of French Revolution era costumes, I'm sure there's a warehouse full of them versus like the costuming in a film like Killers of the Flower Moon, where a lot of that was like the costuming there was done by like Osage people were doing the costuming on that one, and that movie looked great. But again, like I said, technical categories, and then Vanessa Kirby. I think her performance as Josephine is really good, probably the only saving grace of the film, and it's just kind of about how she's cucking him. It seems like basically every single military decision he makes has to do with, you know, whether Josephine is giving him attention or not. It's very funny if the goal for this movie was to make Napoleon seem like a pathetic man, then sure, you did that. But the term Napoleon complex has existed forever, so we all kind of knew that already, right? Other than that, it didn't feel like Ridley Scott himself had any real passion for telling this story. It was just, well, Oscars are coming up, I better have something to submit. So I wouldn't recommend this one. If you do see it though, don't see the 4-hour version when it comes out on Apple TV Plus. I can't imagine it's going to be any better than the 2.5 hours I got. Sorry, Ridley Scott. Some people strike it big really early, and then their career kind of fizzles out after that. And Ridley Scott's been at it so long that maybe he's just lost steam. Hey, thanks for watching. Your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific and Sundays at 2 p.m., so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons, with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone friend tier patron Pixel Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.